John Mary Baptiste Vianney was the fourth of 6 children born to devout Catholic parents in Dardilly, a rural village near Lyon in eastern France. He was born 3 years before the French Revolution began, a period when the Catholic Church faced fierce persecution. Public worship was suppressed, churches were closed or repurposed, and many priests were forced to swear allegiance to the new state, went into hiding, or were killed. During the Reign of Terror from 1793 to 1794, thousands of clergy in France were executed by guillotine. Despite these challenges, the Vianney family sheltered priests and attended clandestine masses at nearby farms. The bravery of these priests inspired John to pursue the priesthood. Due to the tumultuous times, John spent his childhood helping on the family farm and received minimal formal education, leaving him functionally illiterate into his teenage years. His mother gave him a simple education, and he secretly received catechetical instruction from 2 nuns, leading to his first Holy Communion at 13 in a neighbor's house. In 1799, Napoleon seized power in France and signed the Concordance with Pope Pius VII in 1801, which recognized Catholicism as the faith of the majority in France, although it was regulated by the state. In 1806, the parish priest of the neighboring village of Ekoli, Father Bali, opened a school for prospective seminarians. John, then 20, began his formal education there. Although he struggled academically, especially with Latin, he was known for his profound faith and humility. In 1809, John's education was interrupted when he was drafted into Napoleon's army during the War of the Fifth Coalition. Previously, seminary students were exempt from the draft, but Napoleon abolished this exemption due to heavy losses. After joining the regiment, John fell ill and was left behind. As he was deeply immersed in prayer, he missed joining a new regiment. He was misdirected to Nose, a village of deserters, where he stayed, changed his name, and taught in a school for over a year. Eventually, he was granted amnesty and returned to Ekoli to continue his education under Father Bali's guidance. John struggled academically, but Father Bali recognized his true vocation, devotion to the Blessed Mother, and profound prayer life. After completing his studies, Father Bali persuaded the Vicar General of the diocese to admit John to the diocesan seminary. Although John found it challenging, he persevered, and when the diocesan authorities questioned his suitability for ordination, they were convinced by his piety, noting that he prayed the rosary like an angel. John was ordained a priest on August 12, 1815, and served as an assistant priest in Ekoli under Father Bali until his death 2 years later. In 1817, Father Vianney was appointed chaplain at St. Sixtus Church in Ars, a farming community of just over 200 people, where he remained for 41 years. When he arrived, Ars was known for its dancing, drunkenness, and swearing, with a dilapidated church and low attendance. Initially, no one attended his masses, but as word spread, people began to visit the church, drawn by his devotion to prayer before the Blessed Sacrament. Father Vianney's simple homilies, which emphasized the basic gospel message, resonated with the community. Avoid sin to avoid hell, and turn to God to be saved. He focused on God's love, prayer, the sacraments, especially confession and the Eucharist, and living a life of charity and virtue. Within 3 years, ours began transforming. Father Vianney's dedication, evidenced by his long hours of prayer, severe penances, fasting, church restoration, and frequent home visits, impressed many and drew them to the church. In 1823, his efforts led the bishop to elevate St. Sixtus Church to parish status, appointing Father Vianney as pastor. In 1827, Father Vianney declared, "Ours, my brothers and sisters, is no longer ours," indicating its spiritual transformation. The town's conversion and Father Vianney's reputation attracted thousands of visitors for Mass and confession. By the 1850s, tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands visited ours. A larger church was built and a railroad was constructed to accommodate pilgrims. Father Vianney's priesthood was characterized by his complete surrender to God, allowing God to work through him. He was renowned for his devotion, with tales of the devil attempting to intimidate him. On one occasion, the devil reportedly said, "If there were only 3 like you in France, I would not be able to set foot there." St. John Vianney emphasized the vital role of the priesthood, famously saying, "If I were to meet a priest and an angel, I would greet the priest first and then the angel." If there were no priests, the passion and death of Jesus would serve no purpose. What use is a treasure chest full of gold if there is no one who can unlock it? The priest has the key to the treasures of heaven. Reflecting on St. John Vianney's legacy, we are reminded of the sacred power and responsibility of priests to dispense God's mercy, absolve sins, and make Christ's passion present in the Eucharist. Consider your own priest today and pray for his holiness and humility in serving as an instrument of God. St. John Mary Vianney is the patron saint of parish priests, all priests, and confessors. He was canonized by Pope Pius XI in 1925. He is the only diocesan priest ever to be canonized.